Like stats and
I'm making
stuff?
plays.
I'm making plays.
I'm making hits.
I'm making hits.
I'm making plays.
I'm making plays.
I never miss. I never miss. Haters gon' hate.
Yeah, they gon' hate.
But look at the clips. Just look at the clips. At the end of the day, I was made for this shit. Dog, I was made for this shit. Nothing but green grass in my view. Hit him for 50 yards up the middle. All of my rushes are ready to move. Tell your quarterback, head on the swivel. Came all this way, so we hungry as hell. If we ain't winning, we ain't leaving the field. Overtime, now the shit getting real. Double overtime, shoot for the kill. I put it all on my shoulders. Give 100 till it's over. All of this ice in my veins. Tell me, how could there be anyone colder?
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Let me turn up my mic a little bit. How we doing today? Welcome to Arrowhead PM, powered by Chiefs Kingdom, of course. We got my man DG. We got my man Trizzy. We got the squad today, and it is officially playoff football time, which is the best time of the year. When the Chiefs actually start their season, it's always in January. I know it's been a while. It's been since December 23rd, but just like the Chiefs, we needed some rest and relaxation and be with the fam and get ready for these playoffs. Since before the Steelers game, what have your thoughts been, Trizzy, about how the Chiefs have been going through it since our last podcast? So right after the Texans game.
My bad. I had covered my face. I don't want to talk to the ops. It's the playoffs, man. You see what jersey I got on, man. He coming. All right. All the casual talk is out the window. But nah, what was the question again, Dom? I'm sorry. I had to get the ops out the way. I know they watching too.
It's been a long time since we've been on the air, but do you have any thoughts or anything about what we've done since the Texans game, or just overall excitement for this Saturday?
I think a lot of people in context, rightfully so, you should be excited about having Hollywood, getting Isaiah and Kareem and seeing what the 1-2 punch looks like. Having Charles Omenihu back, he affected EPA by almost 10 points. Jalen Watson is been full participant in practice for the last 3 days and was at practice last week, which leads him up to playing on Saturday. Maybe some adjustments in some reinforcements, I should say, coming back to our secondary. There's plenty of things since the last time we've been here. This is a completely different Chiefs team that we're talking about. Being from the last time that I've seen your guys' faces and where we are now, I believe that the Chiefs are just kind of hitting stride at the right time, and we seen that against the Steelers. Oh, they were able to kind of do what they wanted. I ain't gonna say they did what they wanted to. That it is what it is. I didn't see Ariza out there much, and those guys went out there, executed at the high level. We didn't see discrepancies on third and longs with Pat. Hollywood seems to make him very comfortable in those situations. You know what play I love from the Chiefs? That I see everybody even though we've seen this, we haven't seen it done like the Chiefs do it. Hollywood got a questionable pass that he dropped. We right back on the ball, get a playoff. Stuff like that. I just haven't seen that sense of urgency, that wanting to get better. We seen the team talk about it. Yeah, we have to work on some things and we have to get better. And we have to keep working at the passing game, and we have to keep working at this, working at that, and it's just like so many weeks. With people who actually watch and pay attention and watch film, it's just like, all right, well, you said that last week. You said that last week. You said that last week. So for them to actually put that on film against the Steelers, and then leading up to that ball, getting guys like Chris Jones rest, who was banged up. We'll get some guys again like Jalen Watson. Trayshawn Wharton is back playing how he was to begin the season. Just a different Chiefs team right now, a different vibe in the arena for sure. I'm just excited for the guys' opportunities, man, and it starts with the Texans on Saturday.
DG, what is your excitement just to see the Chiefs play after such a long time of them, just basically since Christmas, not playing significant football.
Ecstatic, man. Especially now that it's I guess you could say more meaningful football at this point. We all know what they're chasing history at this point, trying to go to a place where no team has ever ventured to. It's something that you've been kind of thinking about all season. It's just putting in the work to get to this point. I don't think a lot of people had them going 15-2. You know, if you did, then you're a genius or whatever. But
You're a liar. Yeah.
yeah, you
I
might be
had
a
them
liar.
going. I had them going 13
You
and 4.
you might be a bullshitter too.
You're a bullshitter. You didn't have them going 15.
Yeah, man.
Stop.
But to see this team battle through the things that they had to battle through this year, the injuries, the adversity, the doubt, uh, a lot of hate. To know that each week going into every game, there's a target on your back. Everybody wants to beat you. You're everybody's Super Bowl. Nobody likes seeing you win at this point, and it's something I feel like they have truly embraced this year. They know that what they're up against. They know what their mindset is, and they know they're going to get everybody's best shot at this point. So to see them actually get back on the field, to have something to really play for, I think that they'll be up for it. I think the rest for them was very beneficial, especially for their star players like Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey and those guys that have been here for a while that have played a lot of meaningful football. I think the time off gives you time to reset your mind, get a little, fresher to get ready for that stretch run. Now it's three games to put yourself in immortality, to put yourself in a spot where no team has ever gone to make yourself known forever and ever and ever and ever. You will, if you accomplish this, you will be considered the greatest football dynasty ever. So I think that is something that is obviously at the forefront of their minds at this point. And I think they're going to try to do everything in their ability to go out there and try to accomplish that goal. So, you're almost to the mountaintop. You just ride it. You can see it. You ride at the summit, man. You can see the mountaintop, and you're almost there. You just gotta slay 3 more games, and it's a wrap, man.
Yeah. I'm super excited about this weekend. I think this is going to be the first time that we have seen the Chiefs play what we expected them to play from the get-go. I mean, obviously, when Hollywood got injured in that first preseason game on the very first snap, it was a bummer. And then all the context of this season in general, from losing Rashee Rice, losing Pacheco for a majority of the year, then losing Jalen Watson, losing wide receiver 4 and 5, tight end 3 through 5. It just felt like we were plagued with injuries. I mean, even Chris Jones got a little banged up in that Texans game. It just felt like all these injuries kind of piled up, so we didn't really see the offense or even to a degree the defense click on the cylinders that we as Chiefs fans were like, this is the potential. And now that they're healthy at the right time, with Hollywood back, with D-Hop not having limited snaps and playing fully, that's going to be huge. Travis, saving his best football for when it matters in the postseason. It's just real. I'm just really excited to see it. And then the best news is seeing that most of the players, except for McCole Hardman, were full participants in practice. Just a lot of trending upward signs, and man, I'm just excited. Obviously, we played the Houston Texans at 3:30 Central Time, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time for you East Coasters. First game of the playoffs. I think the Chiefs set the tone for the playoffs by, just, I'm not going to say have their way, because I have a little respect for the Texans, a little bit, but I just don't see, just a little. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, just a little dime of respect, but we'll see what happens. you know, the it just if you watched the Chargers Texans game, I think it was kind of more on the Chargers than it was about the Texans. I don't know if you guys want to jump in on that at all.
Um, I think it was more. I would kind of a little bit disagree. I think it was more Texans executing, getting themselves a little bit more comfortable in that game, especially defensively. I think the Chargers had a good game plan coming out of the gate, but they didn't, for some reason, decided not to stick to it. And the Texans, I think, did a good job of adjusting and getting themselves into certain fronts that gave that Chargers offensive line hell on last Saturday. So um, Justin Herbert, yeah, obviously was terrible. 4 interceptions. Obviously, you're never gonna win a game when you turn over the ball that many times. But I think a lot of it also had to do with the fact that his receivers tremendously failed him, especially his secondary guys. Anybody outside of Lad McConkey pretty much failed him on Saturday. So on that whole offensive unit. So, but I think the Texans and D'Amico Ryans and them did a really good job of exposing um, the lack of communication and execution issues that they probably saw on the Chargers film at points in time during film study and stuff like that. And I think they had a good game plan for it and went out there and exposed it, man. And it showed its ugly head. And I think that's the reason why the Chargers are sitting at home right now.
Yeah, I agree. Hit everything on the nose, and also they weren't able to establish a running game at all with J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards. And when you're not able to establish a running game, when the defense has a plan, and let's say they say, hey, well, this guy's averaging such and such, and we're going to come in and, our game plan is going to be keeping 8 in the box or 9 in the box and, challenging your receivers on the outside. Lad McConkey almost had a 200-yard game. Like, I think off of what, like, it wasn't that many
Nine
catches, like
nine
five,
catches.
9 catches.
9 catches, 197 yards.
Like that is ridiculous. Like if you would like wake up and I have my eyes closed and you're reading me that, I would have thought the Chargers walked in the park. You know what I'm saying? With Lad going off like that because that means other guys are getting involved, right? But just watching the game, just from a football's viewer point, like one thing about it, like in playoff football, you have to execute. Chargers missed field goal. You come down, and then you moving the ball. You come down and you get the lead early, and you force the Texans into a field goal. C.J. Stroud was just not himself, a little rattled. They weren't able to get much in the run game either with Mixon. But there was a play, and again, the pick six from Justin Herbert, disgusting. The picks, almost another pick six right after the pick six, is more disgusting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's not happening on Saturday. You can, any Texas fans watching this, you're not getting any interceptions. Sorry. Okay. Um, for them not to establish a run game and obviously the struggles from the receivers dropping the ball crucial moments, it's just hard to continue to shoot yourself in the foot and then you reload in the chamber. That's what I feel like the Chargers did, but also credit to the Texans for being able to take advantage of those things on film like DG pointed out. And then also they kind of had to rally back a little bit. And, that's kind of tough to do. No Tank Dell. Joe Mixon was going off, though. And, when you're able to run the ball and have a balanced, kind of game in the playoffs, it's kind of be hard, to get off the field. If you can't, establish a run game, which the Chargers weren't able to do, your quarterback franchise guy has 4 picks, one for a pick six, almost another one. Like, you just setting yourself up for failure. So, I mean, ultimately, the Chargers did fail, but the Texans took advantage. So you got to get the team credit.
100%, 100%. I think one of the things that's gonna be exciting to see is specifically, I mentioned him earlier, and then we'll get into the film, but I think D Hop with this playoff run could have a Hall of Fame stamp at the end of it if we get this job done. Obviously, D Hop was a former Texan. I think this is going to be a game where he steps up. Am I expecting like 10 catches for 120. No, I'm not expecting that, but making impacts just by being there. Just he's going to be a decoy, just like Travis, taking the zones and just take advantage. And I bet we're going to get one great catch from D Hop. If you look at his career, like he has never gotten past the divisional round, and one of those losses was to that epic comeback, literally in one quarter. But D Hop's got the Hall of Fame talent. He's executed at a high level for a while. And I know, like, I think a lot of people are mainly looking at the stats this year, first thinking that he might be quote unquote washed, which he's definitely not. The way that we approached D Hop this year was so that we didn't have to give away a fourth round draft pick. That's literally it. Get associated with the offense, get your chemistry with Mahomes. We'll use you sparingly, get you some touchdowns. I mean, the only big game he really had was against the Bucks, where he had 8 catches for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. But
There you
now
go.
that he doesn't have to have limited snaps, I think he's going to be awesome for this team. And when you got Travis and you got D Hop in the zone, that just opens it up for Xavier and Hollywood, even sprinkle in some Juju and some Justin Watson, some Mecole Hardman here and there, and then like Pacheco and Hunt are just. It just seems like it's going to be a great stepping stone for D Hop to become a Hall of Famer, and I'm really excited for it. There was an article on ESPN on Monday about it. What do you think is going to be? Who do you think in this game specifically and in these playoffs could be one of the big X factors that isn't one of the big names like Kelsey or Chris Jones
I
or
was gonna say
any
Kelsey.
of
I mean, like I know we want to get the other guys involved, and rightfully so. You're not going to be able to force feed some of our stars that much. Travis Kelsey's going to deserve attention. Obviously, we know what Patrick Mahomes is. Chris Jones on the other side of the ball is going to deserve attention. Obviously, getting guys like D Hop involved, mention guys like Noah Gray and all that stuff. But I think for now, you go with this break, right, and you get into a mode, and you got a guy who suits up on your team. I don't know, that's creeping right behind Jerry Rice in about every category, and past them in receptions. All the other guys are nice and all, but we're gonna depend on the legend. Like, it's Travis Kelsey time. You better take Travis Kelsey away. It's Travis Kelsey time. He's 1A right now in the playoffs. This is what you save him for. This is why he comes off the field. This is why he gets his breaks. So we can use him now. Like, I don't know what people watching talking about he washed up. Okay. Like, I've seen look, man, like it's not a lot of guys like Kelsey out here. I mean, it's some special players, and I know Kelsey's getting older, so people, he might have lost a touch or two, respectfully so. But 1A, he coming.
who do you think could be a really big X factor, DG?
I think offensively, going into this, Hollywood Brown to me is ultimately what's going to help this offense be as explosive as it can in this postseason. And I think they're getting him back at the right time, and I think he's getting enough time to get himself back acclimated to this offense. I think this offense coming into the season was going to be built around him, he or she. And so I think Andy is going to do a good job of trying to get him involved as much as possible, especially with the mixture of having him and now Xavier Worthy having that speed, both 4.2 kind of speed on the outside. I think, and it also helps ties into Trizzy's point of Travis Kelsey being open over the middle, which could create for him to have a big game. Him and DeAndre Hopkins, if they can be able to keep those safeties and things like that honest. The underneath things will be
Be
open
open.
all day. So I think that's a pivotal role in this offense that I think a lot of people, I won't say they would be shocked about, but I think that some people would be surprised about, the kind of, because they just haven't seen it. You know,
Yeah, yeah, he was my guy right behind Kelsey.
right?
Yeah, I think is this the Steelers play that I was talking about?
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
So, and speaking of DG's point, here right here, if you see, you can zoom it in a little bit. Um, this is a
Um,
spread formation. What is it, second and long or third and long right here?
I believe this was second.
I was gonna say they wouldn't run RP on third down. They
Yeah.
run second down. All right, so this is second and long. I'm sure it's like 11 or 12 yards, maybe even more. And you see the Chiefs in the spread formation. Now, the best thing about this, and when we talk about Hollywood Brown and having a guy that's pivotal in this role, is because earlier on, like especially the last 2 years, it was hard for us to run RPO because of the guys that we had in those positions, right? Their role, as far as them as a player, doesn't define the role that they're in. We just plugging and playing guys versus a guy who can actually play the position. And this right here is a perfect example. So right here, I wish we could zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna have to get a little close to the
You get.
to the screen, guys. So
sorry,
if you
dog.
get a little closer right here, we start it up if you want. They're in a base defense. They're in a cover one, man to man. He notices that with the motion, you stop it. Now Pat already know where he wants to go with the ball. Look how far the safety is.
Mhm.
He's a cool 15 yards off the ball. You got a guy working on the outside. I believe is that Zay right there next to Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's Zay right there to Hollywood.
Well,
It's right
no, this Zay is on the far side with Juju.
with Juju. Yeah, who's that in the slot
Um, and right down here at the bottom,
on the bottom on the right side?
I think that's
that
Juju.
that just motion in would be
Yeah, that's
Trav.
just motioned in. That's
Yeah,
Trav, right?
yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
So you motion in Trav, and that's what I thought. I did. I wanted to say Gray at first, but it's
No,
because
it's
I
Trav.
can't tell all the way back here. Yeah, that looks like Trav. We say Trav. Boom. This is beautiful, man. Like this is why the Chiefs, I feel like, and it's not even that the Chiefs are going to just be like, again, we have enough guys to be explosive, but we're not going to have to be explosive to win games. But stuff like this is why we're going to be so dangerous. You can't play cover one against the Chiefs with in a spread formation. And this is why. Because once Kelsey comes in motion, you're giving away your coverage to Pat, and that window is open. So soon as he turns, the ball, boom, he's right there. And I mean, you have to be right on time with that because the linebacker's coming across on the spot, not a spot like a robber position. He's trying to come and meet you right there. Pat put that ball right in the middle, right on the money. Our RPO offense opens back up with Hollywood because he's a guy that can stretch the field and win the intermediate routes as well as the longer routes. When you have a guy who understands zone and where they're moving to and areas to throw to, you don't necessarily have to run a route, right? Having the experience at that position to understand where the quarterback wants you to be at. It's not a traditional route that you're running right here. Again, you show the RPO, he comes in motion, you let him know it's man. You got one robber, all you got to do is beat him with the pass. Perfect. And Hollywood is going to be there every time. He's not ahead. You see, Hollywood is right in the window where he needs to be. It's like the timing is almost impeccable. And for him to be out that long and have that timing like that, that lets you know again, running back to what DG said about him having plays in training camp. This is a design play for Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see just his effectiveness, him being able to run after the catch, being able to catch the ball in space or in traffic. We just haven't had a guy many guys to depend on like that. Especially we get a veteran like that who can really be dangerous in this offense. So man, having the RPO offense back kind of helps us with that short man-to-man game, and it also takes away just defenses approaches and the way that they may be game planning. It'll give Pat an early answer, and he knows where to go automatically with the ball. That gives us more comfortability on the offensive line. That gives Pat, a better sense of where he wants to go with the ball. And I feel like we starting to hit that stride.
Yeah. It's something you haven't had since Tyreek Hill left
Yeah,
town.
I didn't mean to
Um,
say that. I didn't mean to say that.
I mean, it's plain to see. Yeah, like it's no knock. I mean, the Chiefs have been able to adapt and change some of their ways, especially offensively over the
Yeah,
last couple of years. But I think that it got to a point where, especially last year, where it got to a point where they might have overthought things a little bit and thought some of those guys could replicate some of those roles or whatever, and it just didn't work out the way it did. And I think that's the reason why you seen them go and be aggressive and get a guy like Hollywood Brown to come in with that
Exactly.
speed, but also understanding how to run certain routes, where to be at certain points in times or
Very
whatever.
important.
So to kind of replace and give you that explosion back, and then that's the same reason that they went and got a guy like Xavier Worthy that can
Urgent.
stretch the field for you, that can open up that intermediate routes for you, make Trav's life a little bit easier. Even though we seen Trav's numbers be down this year, I think a lot of things this year were a lot more easier for him. You didn't see him out there kind of getting double teamed at certain points in times or
Taking
whatever.
beatings,
Yeah.
making those tough catches that
Mhm.
with an older Kelsey that hurts us.
Yes. So I think it's gonna prove vital when you get to this back half of the season. You gotta arrest it, Travis Kelsey. You gotta arrest it offensive line. You gotta arrest it, Patrick Mahomes. Um, just because you bring in guys like Hollywood that ultimately they didn't play the whole year, but when he did come back, he made a huge impact for this offense again, and helped them win those games down the stretch, to get you into this position. So something you hadn't had. I mean, I know it's hard for a lot of Chiefs fans to admit, and Tyreek made his decision or whatever, but when he left town, the lack of explosion left with him. So.
Exactly.
Uh, totally. And just seeing how much of an impact he'll just make in general, it's just gonna open it up, like I said earlier, for everybody, and not just for Hollywood, but for Xavier Worthy. And I don't know if everyone's been noticing, but Xavier Worthy's been getting better and better as the games have gone on. Mahomes has built a chemistry enough with Worthy where he's going to be a factor, and I'm
Yeah.
excited. His growth has been awesome to see, especially the latter of his season.
Yes, man, and I just wanted to comment about Zay real quick because this Houston game is someone that we're playing on Saturday. Watching the all 22 of the Houston game, if you go back to that game, even when Zay doesn't get the ball, go watch him line up against Lassiter, that corner that they was talking about last week that was playing well. He hell of a player, but Zay was working that young man out. If Zay looking like that, like he was coming off the ball, babe, coming back, like really having his way out there. If Zay doing that, that let me know he getting a little bit more juice from Hollywood. He getting that juice from D Hop. They starting to teach him the game, and he's starting to put his game with it. Sometimes when you learn a general thing or a general lesson, you kind of shy about, kind of putting your own spin on it or doing your own thing on it. And we starting to see Zay, you know, not only use his speed, to run past guys, but using his speed to deceive guys. And once we had that, he's gonna turn himself into a big player in this league. And I'm excited for him, man. He has a hell of an opportunity right now. It's not a lot of pressure on him. You got guys like TK, guys like D Hawk, guys like Hollywood, Juju. All these guys have been great at some points in their careers. Um, and it's cool, for Zay to sit back, be in this environment where he doesn't have that pressure on him, but he wants to go out and be the guy. And when anytime you got a rookie like that, that's gonna spell well for success. So I'm just hoping, in these playoffs, that we able to get him the ball. He's able to show worth, and I know he will. As soon as he touches that rock, the crowd stands up. Grab everybody. He might take it to the crib. He might. He's so fast and electric when he gets the ball in his hands, and it may not be Tyreek yet, or we'll see what happens. But the kid is special, and I'm glad that he's able to show his talent and showing the league that he was worth going up to get.
100%, 100%. Um, now, defensively, I think one of the key players for this is obviously Jalen Watson, who was off injury and is coming back at a great time. Obviously, if you've seen some of the videos uh, coming up for his recovery, it's been nice to see him moving laterally and getting ready for this postseason run. And he's been a full participant DG, what's going to be the impact of Jalen Watson back in this DB room, especially since it's kind of been a rotating cast for that CB2?
Yeah. Depending on how much he plays, I think it allows Spags the chance and opportunity to do what he hasn't been really able to do in this back half of the season, and that's being able to put your best slot corner in his best position, which is Trent McDuffie. Um, being able to bring Watson back allows you to have a bigger boundary corner, especially for this matchup. Going into this matchup with a receiver like Nico Collins, who's a lot bigger, physical kind of receiver, to have Jalen Watson back in this game, even if it's for limited snaps, will be beneficial because then it allows you to put a chess piece that a lot of teams can't seem to game plan for. When Trey McDuffie is in the slot, I think that's when he's at his best, and it allows this team to be able to get more pressure on the quarterback, especially from a blitzing perspective. It allows them to rotate certain coverages down, disguise things, and just make life living hell for quarterbacks. Just to know, because we already know Spags has already got a million things cooked up in his head at points in time. So I'm expecting to see those exotic packages from him. So I know that having a guy like Watson back gives him that confidence now to kind of be able to call more aggressive game plan, and put guys in position to make a lot more plays. Jalen Watson, like I said, from training camp, I always felt like he could be CB2 for this team. A lot of people didn't really think he could be, especially in training camp, and
I was 100%.
he proved a lot of people wrong, Trizzy included. But I'm glad he was able to go out there and prove people wrong. And he was definitely missed during his time that he got hurt. Shout out to those other guys though behind him that held it down for the time being. Christian Roland Wallace, Nazi Johnson, Josh Williams, stepping in. I know those guys aren't perfect or anything like that, but they did a very serviceable, phenomenal job to be able to step in and carry the shoulder that load of what Jalen Watson left behind. So having him back is tremendous, man. I know that the guys love it. I know they're excited to have him back out there, man, and I can't wait to see him play on Saturday.
100%. Now, a debate between Chiefs fans right now is the DJ Humphreys start or Joe Tooney stick with LT and let Caliendo be the left guard. I think I know where you're going to go with Trizzy, but in terms of this matter, and I know we talked about it in previous episode, but with how well Joe Tooney's been playing and kind of just being that safety valve and backup plan, do you think we should give DJ a chance for this game or just stick with the hot hand with Tooney?
Well, I was a little optimistic at first. I felt like maybe it's better to get DJ in there and put Tooney. I'm sorry, that name be kicking me. I'm gonna just call him Joe. I'm gonna call him Joe because everybody's gonna beat me up. Sorry,
JT.
JT. I love you, brother. But your name killed me. Um, but JT at the guard, where he's an all pro at, I feel like for our run game, for us to be the most effective, will be probably to have him back there. But I was listening to Travis Kelsey's he's been talking a bit, he's been around a little bit. He was on Twitter and I believe he was on the Pat McAfee show. Um, and he was talking about the continuity about the offensive line, and he's saying, "I think we figured some things out." So when he says that, that kind of creeps me to believe that Joe Thuney's gonna, I mean, that JT's probably gonna be at left tackle, and they're probably gonna roll with Caliendo at guard. I'm not hating it because I just we haven't seen comparable left tackle play with that first unit yet. Um, But you don't go out and get DJ Humphries and give him some millions to sit on the bench. So whether you like it or not, he's probably gonna be the left tackle, ladies and gentlemen.
It's valid. That's valid. I
The only
think
way that he
DJ.
like you oh my bad, I'm sorry. The only way
No, you're
that
good.
this goes south is that if he's shit, that's why they're alternating those two at left tackle because it's like, okay, if you're shit, we're just gonna go back to Caliendo at guard and we're gonna figure some things out from there. Andy Reid having a playbook for every situation, you can almost lock it in. I'll give my whole everything I own right now, go get it in cash, and I'll put my money that Andy Reid has a plan for that. So that's what you're looking
100%.
at, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Humphries, you better get to cheering. He's the guy, like it or not.
100%.
It's
It's
not your
nice.
decision.
It's nice that there's a backup plan. I think that's the main thing, and I'm interested to see how DJ performs. I think during the Broncos game, I think he was pressured 13 times and made only got one pressure to happen. So and now it's against a very good Denver Broncos pass rush, but
Number one in the
very
league.
good. So
Led
I'm
the league in
excited.
sacks.
We'll see what happens. And at this point, it's not that I don't think the Chiefs are obviously taking every playoff game seriously, especially with the historical context. And I think it's easy for Chiefs fans to kind of overlook this game and look more towards what's going to be happening after Sunday night against the Bills and the Ravens. But Texans are right in front of us. They got a good pass rush, and I'm interested to see that matchup specifically between Humphreys and their rotating cast of pass rushers. But I know we're probably not going to hear Tim Sell Jr. say anything this week. That's one thing I'm definitely going to guarantee.
Yeah, you probably won't hear a lot of talking from them. Can I say something about the DJ Humphries real quick?
Go for
I
it.
got a bold prediction. I think he plays well. I think
I
he
do
comes
too.
out, and I think he looks really good. And I think the reason being is because I think now he's going to be fully healthy. Um, and I think he's going to be extremely motivated at this point. You've been playing in this league for, well, what, over a decade now or whatever, you know? You ain't been at this point. You haven't had this chance and opportunity to know that, yay, if I play these games, these next 3 games, the best I can play,
I'm a
I'll be a
champion.
champion.
Be a
Yeah.
champion.
There's a lot. There's a lot on the line. That's a lot to motivate yourself. And I think for a veteran guy like him, I think he's gonna try to go out on his shield as best as he can. It could get to a point where it does look bad or whatever, and he may not be ready. But
He'll have moments. It won't be
I
perfect, but I think
yeah,
he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be better than fucking Donovan Smith. Excuse my language.
I think he can
Orlando
too, man.
Brown Jr.
I think I think he can too, man. This look, we've been in these spots before where our tackles or our line was kind of questioned or whatever. Especially it's like Tracy said, going back to 2022 when everybody was talking about how that Eagles defensive line was really gonna get after the Chiefs offensive line. Orlando Brown was gonna look bad, and they went out there and put up the performance of their lives.
Yep.
Then you revert to next year where Donovan Smith comes in. Everybody's talking about how bad the Chiefs offensive line and this 49ers defense is going to get after them and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
look at the result, you know. Um,
Yeah,
so,
there's no way that Andy Reid was gonna let the best guard center guard combo not be together for the playoffs.
playoffs, yeah.
Guys are out of their
Yeah.
mind.
You got to have it. And then this plays into actually, now if I can pull this up real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, this actually plays into the matchup I'm talking about. The Chargers, the interior of their line is the reason why they lost.
Yeah, they
They're
were
horrible.
horrible.
Yeah,
Now,
horrible at communicating. Horrible at picking up guys. Their right guard got cooked. at certain points. Like this
Yeah,
is
that's
bad.
like
This is
almost
bad execution, man. And I just think
that
going
guy's
into
not gonna be an NFL player next year.
going into this game, man. Um, I don't think Andy Reid wants to go into this game without having his the best interior to be out there protecting Pat. I think you're okay with Humphreys out here on an island sometimes, or if you need to allocate, help towards his way at points, and which I think that they will. But I think he's a veteran enough to know certain techniques, what to do in certain situations. He's played a long time in this league, and I think that was one of the main reasons why the Chiefs were struggling at that position was just more so of you just didn't have that veteran presence over there, to know why he's still a very young player. Kingsley is still a very young player in this league. They're both still learning, So to have that veteran presence of a guy to know, like, hey, even if I get beat, I know, certain stuff that I can do to alleviate and make sure that my quarterback isn't getting killed. And one of the biggest ways is communication too. So I think that's gonna help prove pivotal in this matchup and prevent things like this.
I agree.
And the thing is also like just being able to have that experience that he has had and kind of soak in the playbook while also getting healthy. I'm expecting good things. I don't know if I can expect great things because you know, based off how the LT position has been until Tooney, it's kind of hard for me to see it perfect. But like you said earlier in the season when we were evaluating Kingsley, we don't need perfection at LT. We just need serviceable. That's all you need. So obviously I'm gonna be rooting for DJ to really kill it. And if we got Tooney back where he belongs, I think Pacheco and Samaje and Hunt, like
Gonna
they're gonna
eat.
be a
And the
problem.
Texans don't know how to defend that because the last time they played us, Tony was at left tackle.
100% gamesmanship. That's what they call it. Now when it comes to the Texans and their offense against our defense, I know we kind of struggle a little bit against tight ends, and that sort of thing. But I feel like with Jaden Hicks, finally getting some more play time, and we're big fans of Jaden Hicks. If there's a video on DG's profile on X that kind of shows how much of a
Goon,
bad man that guy's gonna be.
goon.
Um, but I think this is the play. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Uh,
really
something to
leak out.
look the leak out. I think that was a Robert Woods leak out. Corey, shout out to Corey, sent us this. This is some of the stuff that we gotta kind of just pay attention to. But I think with like Jalen Watson there and you know being able to assess the situation and just react, our defense is one of the fastest defenses in the NFL. So
Mhm.
as long as we just stay buttoned up and not let stuff like this happen
Man,
and just
Chris
stay
Jones, a
consistent.
dog, bro.
This is to me, in my opinion, this was just lack of communication.
Patient, yeah.
Somebody
Uh,
was just blew their assignment, and that's the reason why Schultz was out there in the flat, wide open like that. And a great read by CJ as well too. It shows his maturity because a lot of young quarterbacks probably would have held this ball. I think this is third down too. A lot of young quarterbacks would have tried to held this ball and maybe try to fit it into a tighter spot, but
yeah.
take the check down and allow your guy to get to the sticks.
Who is that? Who is that? Is that in that playing that position? Is that Hicks right there? That's
Hicks
right.
was at the top of the screen. He was playing the deep
Who's
half.
playing the slot? That's his. That's his position. The guy that's in the red sleeves. Who's that?
Oh,
Who
that
made?
was Hicks. That's probably so. It's probably on him.
Yeah, that
It's
is on
probably his
Hicks.
fault that this play was given up. Just probably lack of communication from his
Yeah.
side.
So and well, that's one thing about Hicks, that probably he gets excited a lot. So right here you see the bottom, we dropping out. It's a shell, but it's man at the bottom, and Spags does a great job. Look on this. Don't look at the side where he got the completion. Look on this side.
Mhm.
Play. This is what Hicks is supposed to do. Play, play. Stand right there, drop, come back down. See how he's standing
Yeah.
right there? See how the guy's leaking out? Now you got the guy coming up. Should have been the same thing on the other side.
Mhm.
Pointed out lack of communication is exactly what it is. And then just a lack of experience in that position. You get excited because it's third and long. You think the defensive line is going to be able to peel their ears back. So you're not expecting him to hold it on. But CJ did a good job of just holding it right before he got off his block. And again, and on film that's been killing us all year. You know, using those tight ends and those bigger receivers to chip or to help it out a little bit. And then if there's nobody getting home, like on this play, then obviously you got that check down right there, and it's just able to pick up the first down. Just lack of communication, and then no pressure on the quarterback. Stuff like that happens, but I think stuff like that can be alleviated. It's not really difficult, something to point out. And then that's just a good job again by CJ, just being able to recognize that Jaden was out of position. He wasn't, coming up when he was supposed to, dump it off, get the first down. But I think we'll be better for that. And Jaden Hicks, man, he had a hell of a game against the Steelers, dog. He was balling against the Steelers, man. Like he was really on all 22 acting a fool. Like
Gave us
that.
the PFP of the year, man.
Yeah, that boy can he can hit. He could come downhill with violent intentions for real. He has ball skill. I'm telling y'all, I ain't gonna say it no more. I said it enough.
No, I think on that play as well too. He got a little too antsy with
And see,
the
yeah,
seam route up the
because he been
middle.
getting picks. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
been getting
I
antsy.
think
So
he tried to bait CJ into throwing it there, thinking he wasn't gonna be there, and CJ was just like I said, the maturity of CJ on that play shows that he's gonna be really good in this league for
yeah,
a
he's
long
gonna be
time.
good in this long. He's gonna be good.
Man, this is just getting me excited watching some of this film and seeing what we can do. Obviously, we for this game specifically, we are. I think the line moved down to 7.5 point favorites. It opened up at 8.5, which I was kind of surprised with. That just seems like a lot of points. But Grant, I
It'll
think
probably
we won by 9. So the last time. So I guess that's probably how they evaluated it before.
Yeah.
But
yeah. We coasted a little bit at the end, but I mean, we just time of possession. Um, if the Texans not able to stop the run or just to get off the field on third down, it's gonna be a long day for them. And D'Amico Ryans can act like Houston Texans is as get as cold as Kansas City. That shit ain't cold as Kansas City. It's
no,
cold, different, dog. About to be 22 degrees. Like whether you prepare, you can't prepare for the cold, dog. It's gonna be cold. Our guys, that's what we plan. It's what we do. I don't know. Again, not to say that the Texans are anything like the Dolphins, but that if that cold start to get to you, don't let that be a play and you drop a ball and ignite that crowd. That's all it's gonna take for Arrowhead and get that energy over to that sideline. And them boys gonna take off. But I don't think like the Chiefs are looking at the Texans like some kind of warm up or like they're not taking this game lightly at all. The last time we played the Texans, we was down 24-0. With
Well, yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and then we ended up coming back before the that was the crazy one of the crazy
that
still.
was one of the greatest
I know we
viewing.
done won Super Bowls and stuff, but that playoff game was probably one of the best playoff performances I ever seen from a team, let alone a quarterback. I ain't never seen nothing like that. My jaws was on the floor. No diddy.
51-7 run.
Crazy. We ran out of
Ridiculous.
fireworks. They
Yeah.
scored another touchdown after the second half, like in the end of the third. By that time, we were up by like two scores. I was just in total shock, bro. Like I'm like, we was down by 24. I'm like, damn, bro. Like this
And
how we
we
starting the Pat
took it
era.
over by the end of the second quarter.
Crazy. I was just like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I just thought, sitting and watching that game or being there in person. I mean, you literally just got the wind knocked out of you. The Chiefs down 24 nothing to the Texans after this, after what we seen Pat do this year. You kidding me? And then for them guys to come back like that, so they not taking the Texans lightly. It's a great football team we going up against, a great defense we going up against, a great defensive minded head coach and D'Amico Ryans. He got some good players on both sides of the ball, and those guys can get down and they can play. So the Chiefs are definitely gonna have to come out ready, and I believe that they will be. Man, this is. I'm not saying that we get the three-peat or not. Whether we do or not, it's not just about a three-peat. Like they not about to take the foot off the gas just because we win three championships in a row. Like these guys want their name edged as the greatest. They don't want to be second. So I believe this team just had great things in mind. But it starts with Houston. It starts with Saturday. That's all they looking at. They not looking ahead. They not planning to try to measure who they gonna play. They don't care. Whoever got to play, we got to play. I said, don't let us get. I'll say this every year. You let us in that AFC Championship game, we're going to the Super Bowl. So don't let us in.
Hell yeah. Seems like we got a question about how Butker is. I know since his injury, he's kind of looked up and down a little bit. What are you guys thinking about with Butker? And
I
uh,
think I think Booker's going to be fine. I don't think later on, like the past couple of years, I think that Booker, like obviously him being healthy, making those 50-yard field goals. Our offense wasn't very dynamic. It was hard for us to get stuff. Pat usually coming out, with his Pat magic and scrambling and getting out the pocket, what have you. I think this offense is more balanced. And I think that he'll be able to get his field goals in his range. And I think Bucker's going to show his worth as well, especially with the extension he got. I know the injury looks a little scary. He missed a few field goals that he doesn't usually miss, and rightfully so. He's coming back from injury. Um, and I'll tell you, like, from being where Bucker is, and obviously watching him throughout the years, he's been probably one of the most consistent Chiefs on this team. So he got a little grace with his misses, but I think he'll get back on track. He's one of the best kickers in the game. No
100%.
concerns.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same thing when we in 2022. Um, when we went to the title and he got hurt. He kind of struggled coming back from that a little bit. But when it was time for him to be clutch and ice in his veins, is the reason why you went to Super Bowl. It's the reason why you ended up in Glendale. You kicked the game winning field goal. Then we get to the Super Bowl. Of course, he doinks one off the uprights. But then when it's time for him to be clutch again and put it through the uprights again,
Made it.
there.
I
Uh,
forgot he
That's,
did miss a field goal in the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
I think,
yeah,
man,
against the Eagles. Yeah.
he's been in this situation before. And I think he's got the experience to know how to handle it and deal with it. Also, I
Especially,
think that the rest was beneficial for him as well too.
absolutely.
Um, to have those couple weeks off, couple of days off, or whatever. I went back and looked at his. I thought that he just start dropping that knee this year, but I went back and looked on his previous kicks from a couple of years ago, and he was doing the exact same thing. So he's been doing this for a while. It's just the way he kicks. So I don't know if it concerns anybody or anything like that, but it's just the way that's his form. So I expect him to. I expect. Excuse me. I expect him to still have faith in himself, and I expect this team to still have faith in him as well too. I don't think they've lost that at all, and I think he'll be out there and locked in and ready to go, man. Got all
100%.
the faith in the
100%.
world in seven.
Heck yeah. And before we start looking at the rest of the playoffs, I kind of want to remind people just the kind of quarterback that we have and what he just does in the divisional round. He is 6-0 with 1,800 total yards, 16 touchdowns, no picks, 70% completion, and damn near the best pass passer rating in playoff history. So if you think Josh Allen gets hot in the wild card round when he plays the 7th seed every year, just wait till you see Patrick Mahomes in the divisional round. And there's no debate about how great this man is, but sometimes you just got to remind the folks just how good he is.
Yeah.
And this stat line specifically just goes to show that 15 is just different, man.
Man, he's you already know what you're gonna get out of Pat. He's gonna be locked in and focused. You kind of see him flip that switch. Later on in the season. Actually, I can. Pull this up real
What did Ethan say?
Well, I made a comment about how Josh plays the 7th seed every time.
quick. All right, pull this play up real quick. This kind of lets you know Pat is already locked in um, to fit this ball in an area where a lot of quarterbacks just couldn't do this. Um, Especially to
Yeah,
your
that's a
pretty
dot.
much your wide receiver 4 or 5.
Yeah.
you know, but a great play design by the Chiefs, man. But this just lets you know where he's at. Ball's out of his hands. That's the fastest I've seen the ball come out of his hands all year.
Yeah.
So it lets you know what to expect going into January, into February, man. He's gonna be locked in. He's gonna be focused, ready to go. I just think when he gets to these moments, he sees the field a lot better. I think his mind really slows down in these playoff moments, and the game just kind of becomes like being in the backyard for him. So no to expect
100%.
from 15, man. 15 gonna be great, man.
You already know, man.
Hell yeah, man. There's never a doubt. Uh, the rest of the playoff field, obviously. After our game, there's Detroit versus the Commanders, which is I think is going to be a sneaky great game. Just depends on how well the Commanders kind of execute. And then we got Rams and Eagles, which I think is going to be another good game. And then obviously the game of the weekend, Ravens, Bills, which surprisingly Ravens being favored is kind of surprising to me.
On the road too.
Yeah,
Yes, in
that's crazy.
Buffalo. That 1.5 point favorites is kind of wild.
Yeah,
But
that probably motivate that Bills team, but it's not gonna be easy. I'll say that much. They're gonna have to deal with a lot. That run defense obviously has been improved, but um, that not. It's a lot of things in that game. Jose Flowers is interesting. I seen that the Ravens claimed Deontay Johnson off of Ravens today, but he's not able to play in the postseason, unfortunately. So, um,
You know what they did? They didn't want us to sign him.
mhm,
He hit the market. They were like,
Chiefs
bring it,
don't do it.
bring it back.
But because we
they
was thinking
grab
about,
them, they wave them, they grab them. Jesus
uh,
Christ.
would it be nice to have Deontay Johnson or for a receiver 5? So you did the right thing. But I do just I don't know, man. Disrespecting the home team. Been good all year. They got a few holes in
Undefeated.
that defense. Undefeated at home. That's disrespect. You know,
100%.
take them by a .5 at least, something. But they -1
Make
plus
it a
one. They
pick 'em.
plus money at home.
You already
That's
blew him out
crazy.
before, so
Yeah,
you know the Bills is remembering that game in the bank, man, when they went in there and just got absolutely embarrassed on
yeah,
Sunday
but
Night Football.
yeah,
I know
but
Josh Allen is thinking about that for
yeah, for
sure.
sure. So it's gonna be a good game, man. But long as we take care of business on Saturday, we already know who we playing in the AFC Championship. We probably get to work right after the game. We're not messing around. So I don't care if it's Buffalo or Baltimore. As long as we take care of business, let's just focus on Saturday. We won't even speak about that. Our
Yeah,
focus is on the Texans. Texans.
100%.
Hmm?
I don't think the Chiefs are really too focused on the next round at this point in time, but
Texans,
that's for
look at me,
sure.
look at me, look at me. It's over with on Saturday.
That
The
that
monitor
game
ready.
that game on Sunday, man, is gonna be absolutely electric
Electric.
cinema.
Yeah.
Hear me, Texans fans? Mock draft, get ready.
I think I personally, I took the Bills just because of the revenge factor, the underdog being at home. I think Josh Allen, in my opinion, I know Lamar has played tremendously well this year and put up great numbers. And obviously, I think both of those guys deserve a piece of the MVP. But I think that Josh Allen for this team has been everything. Um, you know, I think he's the sole source of why this team is even at the point where they are now. And I think again on Sunday night he puts that cape on one more time and carries them, to another AFC Championship game. So that's my take on it. Wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore won, you know, but I just think that I just think it's gonna be too much 17.
Yeah.
I
And the
feel that. I feel
Eagles,
that.
Saquon better have 200. He better have 120.
Yeah, the I guess I kind of give the Rams a fighting chance, but
That
I
offense,
think
only
I
Eagles
reason
think
are.
Rams could.
I'll say the
Rams are
same thing with
sneaky. Rams are
Matthew
sneaky.
Stafford, Puka Nakua, Coop. Those guys been hooping, bro. They've been playing good football, bro.
Yep.
Like the last four or
And their
5 weeks.
defense has been great too.
Playing, bro. They defensive line, that young D line is playing well. And I know they going up against the Eagles juggernauts, Mulatto, Dickerson, all those guys. I understand it, tall task. But man, the way that the Rams playing, it could get interesting. But the only thing I say that the tidbit in that game is that like the Jalen Hurts relationship with his receivers in the game. If he's not on the same page with those guys, if Saquon's not working out, he gonna have to rely on Jalen Hurts, and I struggle with his ability to be consistent in the biggest moments. Not to say that he can't do it, but I just don't think much has been asked of him with adding a guy like Saquon, having a guy like AJ and Smitty. He's been good, and I thought he was really good when we played against them in that 2022 season in the Super Bowl. I thought that was one of his best years. He was really balling out that year, very difficult. But ever since then, I just feel like you know, maybe the offensive coordinator change could be different, whatever have you. Obviously you lose a few guys, but he has to step up because that's not going to win you too many games if you going into a team that's playing good football like that.
If he can't get that going, he's probably going to be the one reading that self help book at the end of the season. It's just
Inner excellence, man. Go get you a copy.
it's the
Yeah.
number one book on Amazon right now. I'm not even joking. But yeah. So I'm gonna make a score prediction. I think Chiefs can win by 10 plus points. So I think Chiefs got this 28-17. I don't think they score 30 just because I think it's hilarious that this team could win the Super Bowl without scoring more than 31 points, which is a narrative apparently. But I think it's
You scored
comfortable
more than
win.
30 points twice.
Well, they've only scored 30 points twice.
Oh, okay.
So people are like, oh, they haven't scored 31 points. So this team is, not that great.
Oh,
Let's move the bar up here. So they
okay.
haven't scored 30.
That's
I guess
Well,
they got a
maybe you
point there.
scored 30, but they just scored
I guess they got a
31.
point there. I guess they got a point there.
Did
Uh,
you
but
do that?
28-17, I think it's comfortable. And then when we get to the AFC Championship game and the season truly starts, I think we're gonna see some great football.
I think go ahead, Chase. My bad.
I I got it a little closer than that. I do understand that I do think that we'll win. Um, but I do think it's gonna be um maybe a 5 point game. I got us at 27 points. I got them at right around 21, 20 points. Um, that's only if they can get Joe Mixon going. That's what that looks like. If no Joe Mixon, the run game is took away, like I believe it will be, because we've been good all year against the run, and I think we're one of the best defenses in the league against it. Um, I believe that we could get it done around 27, 16, 27, 18, 27, 20-ish. I could give them around I don't think they get more than 20.
Gotcha.
Yeah. My score prediction is pretty close. I think it's gonna be a close game. I just don't expect the Texans to come out and I guess lay down in a
Yeah.
sense or whatever.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game.
So I got it. I think 26-21. Um, but I do think we do see the Chiefs execute very well, especially down the stretch. Um, and I think they pull out victorious, man.
100%. All right. So
Three
thank you guys so much.
touchdowns. In
3
case you
touchdowns
weren't
for
here.
Mahomes.
Yeah. Go ahead and book that right now and go to Prize
Three
Picks.
tutties,
Go to FanDuel, your local betting apps. This is
three
playoff
tutties.
football. I expect nothing less than 3 touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes, whether that be rushing, 2 passing, or 3 passing, 3 touchdowns.
I'm definitely gonna smash a D Hop touchdown. I think D Hop's gonna get in the end zone this
I
weekend.
think I think Brown and Worthy are the two guys who have probably lead us in yards throughout the postseason.
For sure, for sure.
I think they
Guy.
let's
Oh,
not say
sorry.
throughout. Let's say this game. We ain't worried about the road. We worry about right now. Let's get I think Hollywood and Zay go off this game.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday. And obviously, get ready for this Saturday. If you want to listen to us that isn't on the live stream, you can check us out on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel and everything. Follow us at Arrowhead AM_PM to get on the spaces, to just get updates and everything. Trizzy, any last words before Chiefs get hyped up for this game on Saturday?
um, a great guy, um, Big Yeti as we call him. You know, he has a quote after that first Super Bowl. You know that's kind of ignited Kansas City throughout. And it goes a little something like, "You gotta fight for your right to party. Gotta
Hell
fight
yeah.
for your
For
right.
your
Come on,
ride
KC. To
to
party.
party.
Hey, show up loud, wild, proud, in red. This is for a 3P, guys. We on roll. It's here. No more guessing and wishing and predicting. The time is now. The time is here, man. Show full support for the guys. You know, we got our eyes on the Texas, man. It's gonna be a good time, good vibes all around the city. I can feel the energy already. You know, and just love around, man. So hope y'all somewhere at the stadium warm, drinking a cold one with your families. Ladies, if you're watching, drinking some wine, some Prosecco, you know, whatever you ladies like. But just sit back and enjoy some greatness, you know, enjoy some Chiefs football. And hopefully we come out with the dub. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Guys, take it easy and we'll see you next week.
I put it all on my shoulders. Give 100 till it's over. I told you.